So 5 red flags when it comes down to clients. I've done the same for agencies, so I thought I've got to jump on and do one about clients. So going to be 5 different things, red flags that we see and we stay away from 100% when it comes down to clients. Number 1 is not wanting to pay a deposit to pay upon completion of work. This has only ever really happened maybe 1 or 2 times where clients have refused to pay deposits and want to pay once everything's ready and everything's delivered and handed over to them. I had one experience a very, very, very long time ago when I first started, which is where I just take on the work, do it, and then I'd invoice, where one client, I built the website and then they were like, oh no, I don't want to pay. And I transferred the website to them and it was completely awful. And it was a decent amount. I should have saw that coming from a mile away. So now we ask for at least a 50% deposit before we begin work for a website. For retainers like social media, SEO, Google Ads, the first month or the setup cost has to be paid before an onboarding call is scheduled in with the team. I cannot stress you enough. It is so important to do that. If clients don't want to pay a deposit, they're not serious about working with you. Some of the bigger clients that we work with, they pay up front and they have no issues with doing so. And it works really, really well. Number 2 is micromanaging. Again, happened a couple of times with SEO clients, with ads clients, with website clients. And it is very hard to navigate because you're obviously coming to us for a solution. You're coming to us as we're experts in our field. We are experts of what we do. You're wanting our advice and our support. If you're going to tell us what to do every step of the way, there is no point us working together. We had to let an SEO client let go for that let down. Well, we did let them down. We had to let them go for that very same reason because it was just getting unbelievably unmanageable. Rude messages to the team. Why are you doing this today? Why are you not doing that? Why are you doing this? Why are you not doing that? Again, you're paying us for a service. We are going to deliver that service. How we get to that, people might have different aspects and avenues of how they would get there. However, we know what we're doing. This is why you are paying us to do it. If you weren't paying us, why are you paying us? Do it yourself. It makes so much more sense rather than micromanaging everything and everything about the project from the minutest of details. For example, why have you done page speed first and not done content? It just got absolutely unmanageable. We had to have a very serious conversation with them and say, look, you're obviously paying us for a reason. If you're going to bring in your whole team, that's absolutely fine. And we can have conversations about why we're doing things, but you're just stalling the process and then we can't get things done because you're just completely micromanaging. Number 3, the budget ghoster. It doesn't happen as much nowadays because we're very upfront with our pricing. But when we are working on a project, whether that be a strategy, whether that be a retainer, whether that be a website, and we're putting together a budget, it's very common with RFPs where they put together budgets of what they're working with. However, when it comes to sort of working with smaller clients, the budget question is more often than not a little bit of a dodged question. And the reason that I asked the question, some sales trainers will say they do it to find out how much money they've got and they can grab more money. That's absolutely not the case. The reason I ask it for a website perspective is because when it comes down to budgets, there's different things that we can do within different budgets. For example, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we started working with more cost-effective and affordable website solutions like Wix and Squarespace and Webflow and sort of not your typical custom sites or WordPress sites, which are more cost-effective. They are more budget-friendly. So rather than me going on for 10, 15 minutes walking through a prospective client on how we build their website, if I actually ask the question, say, what rough budget are you working with? I can then determine what is actually best for the client. And then I can sort of tailor our proposal, tailor our strategy down to that route, because otherwise it's just a waste of everyone's time. There will be sales trainers out there that say that they want to get your budget so they can sell you something more expensive or inflate their costs. We're very upfront with our pricing on our website, so it's quite hard for us to do that. Number 4 is I've been burnt before. Unfortunately, there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of clients that have had very bad experiences with cowboy agencies in the past. They blame agencies all the time and they want miracles. They have severe trust issues. And we've had these types of clients before, and there are two two clients within this. One that have genuinely had bad experience with an agency, which I feel absolutely awful for. They've been paying for SEO, not had any reports, not had any improvements whatsoever, been paying thousands of dollars or pounds each month. We've come in, we've sort of turned it around. There are other clients where they've come on board, they said they've had issues with their agencies in the past, of which I've believed them. And actually, it's not the agency that's the problem, it's actually the client. And I call them like cheaters, if you will. They go around and like swap agencies every 3 to 4 months. And now I'm quite clever with what I can see in regards to that, and sort of spotting it out a little bit early, because otherwise it gets very, very difficult to manage. And it's just a waste of our time to get sort of knee deep into a project and then be told, oh no, actually I'm leaving and going to work with another agency because they said this. Number 5, a bit of a pet peeve of mine. Existing clients, it might be clients you're potentially building proposals for, or while you're there, can you just do this? Or actually, could you just do that? Or, very vague brief, but then when we actually go to build the website, they say, oh, actually, can I have a booking system? And then we give them a quote and they're like, oh, what do you mean I have to pay more money? So now what we do with all of our proposals, with all of our scoping documents, we are very clear on what is included and what is not included, whether that be amount of pages. That's also another cheeky one. We're building out a website and then ask for another page. Yes, absolutely, we can definitely do that. What is it you need? Here's the cost. Oh, I have to pay extra for that. Absolutely. We all own businesses for a reason. I give back and help as much as we can, and we do go above and beyond for clients. But sometimes being that little bit of a cheekiness, not having any clear deliverables of what they want and their expectations, which is why I am very thorough when it comes down to discovery calls, follow-up calls, and putting together proposals for websites for that very reason. Because there have been times before where we started a project, we've gone through, we've delivered what has been agreed, and then the client's like, oh, but I wanted this, I wanted that. We can absolutely do that, but it's out of scope of what we currently do. So document all of your processes, whether that be on your proposals or terms and conditions, even if on your e-commerce website and you're selling courses or products or digital products, always list exactly what's going to be delivered so you don't run into any of those problems in the future. Maybe some things there that you can pick out and sort of put into your SOPs to prevent clients like this coming into your business. I've said yes too many times when I should have said no. I mentioned that on an interview when I got asked a couple of weeks ago, and it is definitely true. There's no need to say yes all the time. If you're not a good fit, it's absolutely okay. There are other agencies out there that don't suffer your mental health, your stress levels, your team, or your team's capacity, because it is absolutely not just worth it. There we go. Stay awesome, stay safe, but most importantly, stay nerdy.